Let's move into the trending topics now and look at the very first one. We've got Dr. Nandipa Magudumana. So, I mean, you've heard about what's happening in the news and you've been following it, no doubt, and it's all about that bail application and whether or not you can see if she's going to be getting it. It will be continuing in court once again. And the bail application is in the Bloemfontein Magistrates Court. She, of course, is applying for this bail following her failed attempt to have her arrest overturned. And the state maintains she's a flight risk. That's opposing her application. And of course, there were lots of tears in court yesterday and very emotional and many things were said.
In stark contrast to her demeanor in previous appearances. A trane daal, as they say in Afrikaans. The tears were flowing freely. So that was Dr. Nandipa Magudumana in court yesterday.
Indeed. All right. So that's the first one. And then the next one, it's hashtag President Protector. But President Protector, well, it's actually Public Protector. But that's how Twitter, well, not Twitter, X is reading into it and how South Africans are calling it now. And this is, of course, talking about the voting for the new Public Protector, which is continuing, and it looks like anything can happen that Kaleka is the one that's sort of up for the position.
Where the process is right now, she has obviously her name has been nominated principally by the ANC and the IFP. And this is now recommended to the National Assembly, and they then need to go and vote on this. She needs a 2/3 majority threshold for that name to then be forwarded to the president. But anything can still happen. The parties who did not vote for her were almost unanimous in the fact that the shortlisted candidates that they had to choose from were all woefully below the standard that they would have liked to see.
Indeed, and that's where we're at the moment. So quite interesting. Obviously, the DA and EFF coming out strongly against that. 2024 is our 1994. This is an interesting one. It's nothing new. I mean, this is something that many South Africans have been speaking about for a very long time as to how crucial these elections are that are coming up next year. And that's kind of what people are speaking to. They're saying that it is exceptionally important and we need to make sure that South Africans go out and vote and have their voices heard for the situation that some people are not very happy with right now, where we find ourselves as a country.
It's amazing because, of course, you cannot read too much into by-elections as an example. But if you've been following the trends in the by-elections, I'm not convinced that much is going to change. And I say that, with that disclaimer that you cannot necessarily superimpose what's happening in the by-elections and say this is going to be the outcome in the general election. And if you look at what the opposition parties have been doing,
that's the problem.
Their own goals. I can't wait for next year's election just to see how it all plays out.
It's going to be interesting. And many people sort of looking and saying, EFF filling up stadiums like they did and the support that they may have, but is that going to translate when we go to the votes? And it is going to be a very, very interesting vote.